Today on Celebrating the Show Online, we're going to speak to perhaps the most important stakeholder that attends the Royal Melbourne Show. We've talked about our competitors and our stewards, our judges, our volunteers, the staff of the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria. But the largest and most important group of all are the show goers, and there's some 450,000 of them. The one we're going to speak to today is called Mietta. Mietta, you are 14 years old, and I think it's an understatement to say you're a big fan of the Royal Melbourne Show. How old were you at your first show?
I was 1.
And you've been to every show since?
Yeah.
And how many days would you go out of the 11 days? Just 1 or 2?
Probably 5 to 7 days.
That means you're getting a pretty good sense of the Royal Melbourne Show. Now, my understanding is that you're one of the many showgoers whose feedback is sought by the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria. They like to know how you found the show each year, what worked really well, which entertainment really excited you. Tell me, as someone who's such an avid fan of the show, how do you actually plan for show day? How do you go, all right, I'm going to get the very most out of this day that I possibly can?
Well, I'd probably first have a look at pre-show. I'd have a look at the magazine and spend hours picking show bags and seeing what entertainment and competitions there'd be. And then probably when we arrive there, I just can't wait to start. So we just go, first thing we see, we'll go have a look at it, and then we'll go from there.
One of the things the show does is try to cater for all different age groups. So my age group, your age group. But given you started out at the age of 1, you probably weren't doing a lot more than being pushed around in a pram. As you got older, what were some of the things you were interested in when you were a really young kid?
Definitely doing the arts and crafts activities. I really did enjoy doing them. But I also enjoyed having a look at all the baby animals and even going on some of the smaller rides.
Today, what do you get up to when you are 14 years old and you're spending a couple of days at the show? What are the key activities you love to do?
I do still enjoy doing some arts and crafts depending on what it is. But I still have a look at the animals, but I mostly have a look at more the food and the rides.
And in terms of competition, because competition is such a critical part of any agricultural show, and we've got competition from poultry through to pigs, we've got horses in action, you've got wood chop. Are there any particular competitions that are an absolute must-see for you every year?
I do enjoy going into the winning taste pavilion and tasting all the delicious food, as well as I also love looking at the cake competitions and all the designs on the cakes. But I also enjoy the horses, the dogs, the wood chop.
Look, as someone who's also an avid showgoer and just loves Royal Melbourne Show, is there something about arriving there on the first day of the show that just hits you and you go, yes, it's Royal Melbourne Show Day, I'm so excited to go?
Definitely the smell.
Describe that smell. For people who haven't been, what does it smell?
It's a mix of food with fumes in a way from the cars and from the rides, as well as like the animal smell that you're like in a farm. So it's a mix of different all combined into one.
It's a pretty unique concoction.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard to manufacture that anywhere else. There's a real Royal Melbourne Show smell. Now, I wonder if you've got a favourite memory from the show growing up. Is there something you just think, oh, that was such a fantastic part of the show one year?
Oh, there's so many. I can't even start to pick one to explain. But just either going to the show with friends and having it even better day with more people that I know and like, which I think they really enjoy. But just, there's so many.
I had that same thing where I think I've got to take my friends along to this to experience a show, particularly if they're from the city and they haven't experienced all of the wonderful agriculture that's on show there and all of the great socialising too. So I wonder, if you were going to take a new friend along to the 2021 show, what is a must-eat food that you'd make them try so that they had a good show experience?
I don't know. Maybe like a burger, like some of the winning taste burgers. I don't know.
There's some good food down there.
Yeah.
I love nuts personally. What's the must-do ride that you take them on?
Probably the bumper cars. You can never go wrong with them.
The classic. I love that. And must-see entertainment. What are the things they need to sit down, strap in, and really enjoy watching at the show?
Depends what time you go. But if you went at night, definitely the fireworks. They're always a must-see. But also the motorbike rides and some of the other entertainment that happens on like the stage.
Well, I bet you just cannot wait for the 2021 show, and I know the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria will eagerly await your feedback on what 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds by then enjoyed at the show. Thank you so much for being part of our virtual commentary box this year as part of celebrating the show online. And Mietta, I'll see you at the show next year.
Thank you for having me.